Yes. I'm thinking there might be a lawsuit in here. Something we never thought of before. Oh, look at the 8-hour law and the Eighth Amendment. Statute that sets 8 hours as the standard workday for some jobs that usually requires a higher pay rate for work beyond 8 hours. One example is the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act. Then there's the Eighth Amendment, the constitutional amendment ratified as part of the Bill of Rights in 1791, prohibiting excessive bail, excessive fines, and cruel and unusual punishment. The number eight, the eight ball, an eighth of an ounce or 3.5 grams of a controlled substance. Now, let's say you had a dog, and this 8-hour law where you can work 24 hours a day, you each work 12 hours at a time. Anytime you use anything in actual employment, yes, where there's a certain compensation for the amount of work that you do versus the amount of compensation for your dog, yes, because you look like each other. Yeah. You actually are violating numerous employment statutes and quite possibly the Fair Labor Standards Act, Coach. And I know it's all top secret. Like I didn't notice that some individuals have a dog, and you're supposed to share your job with each other. And it's 20 hours a week for the two of you, or maybe certain days for the dog and certain days for yourself. But some people would say, well, really, I'm working, 60, 70 hours a week when you're not. Could you get me the overtime of every government employee that's working so many hours, but really they're not? See, the actual employee goes home, you go out for eat, you stop in the parking garage, you stop by and get yourself something from a convenience store, and you walk into the bathroom and your dog walks out, you walk underneath, you go home, you sit there for 20, 30 hours a week. And then all of a sudden you're getting all that overtime because you're working all the time, but it's really not you. Now, do you see how this workday statute, a higher pay rate for work beyond 8 hours? For those that have the availability of the use of any cloning technology, yes. I'm going to look at the overtime. Then I'm going to want to know, well, did your dog do the overtime and you just did the regular time? Because if you didn't have a dog and you both weren't the same individual, judge, there's a good probability that it would cost us a lot less as a nation to not employ your dog. Now, for every coach in every school and all coaching staff, women's and men's sports, yes, that just had to have a dog that was going to teach them how to play. Every time you used anything other yourself for any pay, yes, whether it was overtime, under. I'm going to sue the fucking shit right now. Do you understand? Now, the use of anything that looks like an actual employee, rat, snake, dog, cat, or any other DNA genetically modified lookalike, where you receive compensation from any employer, yes, violates employment law. Now, your dog's more important than my rights. Is that right, Sheriff? Ooch. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Get me the last 30 years of actual hours. Now, if you want to work 70 hours a week for a salary, yes, who am I to say? But we could be paying a lot of OT for no other reason that both of you had to have something to do all the time. And then get me that Eighth Amendment that was ratified. Ooch. This excessive bail, yeah, mention that, and excessive fines, and then there's the cruel and unusual punishment of being used as the target of racketeering for those in office. Now, did you bet, you piece of shit? for every wager of racketeering, for all of the times that you denied me my right to notice an opportunity because of your bullshit excuse of me being crazy. When you took my sons from me in July of 2011, yes, for every time that you violated that one special rule that governs the definition of law, I'm going to find out everything that you bet on. And I find out that you're using your top secret dog as a way to position a bet. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you for all that you own. Now, I want to speak to my sons and I want to speak to Marilyn. This justiciary, a justice or judge. Oh, hmm Chancellor, the Chief Justice, the Lord High Treasurer. Yeah. Justices, a writ empowering the sheriff to allow certain cases in the county court. Writ was also called because of a significant word of the writ's opening clause, which stated in Latin, "We command you that you do justice too." Oh, now I'm missing out on some justice today, aren't I? Oh, isn't that right, Sheriff? Oh, why don't you give me that 17th century writ known as, "We, the justices and judges, command you, those in law enforcement, that you do justice to myself and my sons." I just want those writs. Okay?